Hello and welcome, all friends and devotees of yoga and Buddhism. Today is Saturday, June the 22nd, 2019. Saturday, June the 22nd, 2019. And I'm just going to continue to share with you my recent discovery. I call this my golden discovery. It was my discovery of gold, what I call gold, wisdom, golden wisdom here. And I always compare it to the discovery of the British archaeologist Howard Carter, who was a British archaeologist who worked in Egypt trying to excavate and delve into ancient Egyptian civilization and accomplishments and achievements. And one day they just ran into gold. They ran into gold. And what was it? It was the golden remains of Tutankhamun, the golden tomb. All gold. This ancient Egyptian king, Tutankhamun, was embalmed in gold. Everything in the tomb was gold. Fantastic discovery by Mr. Carter. And that feeling was what I felt when I ran into these golden treasures of wisdom. And I tell you right now, believe me, any question you may have about any issue in this world, these golden treasures that I discovered has an answer to it. Any question you may have about anything in life that you feel, look, I need to be successful. Look, I want to be happy. Look, I want money. Look, I want, anything, right? Any of these issues that, trouble human beings. Human beings feel, we are meant to be perfect in this world. Anything that you just feel in your heart is not dream or unusual feeling. When human beings in this world want to be happy, it is because they've lost that happiness. That happiness is supposed to be there. It's not something that is supposed to be in disguise or so. When you feel you should be happy, okay, it's because that happiness is actually there. It's your right to be happy. You just, like a driver who was driving on the road and stumbled into the bush for some reason. And you felt, I should be on the road driving, not in the bush, battling with my life. Maybe the life is about to end, the car crashed. See, that's what many people feel. Where is my happiness? Should be successful, I should be wealthy. Where is my wealth? So a lot of people have these questions. You see, these are questions that a good 90% of 7 billion people in this world have. I tell you right now, a good 90% or more of 7 billion people in this world have challenges in happiness. It's your right. It's not a privilege. It is the right of every living human being in this world to be happy. Happiness is a part of it. It's like a human being born without hands. A person will look ugly without hands. And there are people who were born without hands, without legs. Right? And the human being without hands wonder, why am I born without hands? Every other person has hands. Why don't I have hands? So is happiness. And so is wealth. And all questions you have in your heart. Okay? These are things, they are our right. So how do we go about achieving them? And that's what I discovered. That's the gold. These are the treasures. Once I unveil them to you, they're a collection of about nearly 300 of them. Golden treasures. It just unveils to you, what are you doing in the bush? You should be on the road driving. The bush is unsafe. The car that runs into the bush is on its way to perish. So they're going to catch fire, right? To hit some blocks or trees, somersault or whatever, right? Cars don't drive on the road and skid off to the bush, right? That's what they call an accident, right? So you should have your happiness, you should have your success, your wealth. And what you need to do is to pay attention to these treasures of wisdom. Okay? Listen carefully. Since humans are essentially social beings, have your pen and paper, you're going to need to take notes. Since humans are essentially social beings and are incapable of living apart from their fellow human beings, the subject of interpersonal relationships, you already heard the subject. That's the most important subject in the world, in this world we live in. You are going to have to relate with human beings on earth, right? Everything you've talked about is going to come from happiness, success, money. You're going to have to relate with human beings. If you don't want to relate with human beings, you have to go to Jupiter or Pluto, right? We don't know what is up there, but you have to go there. If you're on this earth, you're going to have to relate with human beings. 7 billion of them. You have to relate with human beings. So highlight that point. Okay? Master Singyung, the great master, is already talking about interpersonal relationship. That means this discourse is something you're going to need to know everything about it. Okay? Interpersonal relationships. For those who don't know who Master Singyung is, Master Singyung, of course, is this oracle that I'm reading to you. Is the source. This oracle, I'm unveiling to you Master Singyung's spirit, put it that way. This is Master Singyung that I'm technically unveiling to you. Okay? Master Singyung is in his 90s. He's in his 90s now. He was born 1927. Master Singyung is the founder of the largest Chinese Buddhist organization in the world today called Fo Guangshan. Okay, very progressive Buddhist foundation. They brought Buddhism to Africa by establishing the Nanhua Foundation in Johannesburg, South Africa. And they built the institute there that awards degrees to young Africans learning Buddhism, the African Buddhist Seminary. They established University of the West in Rosemead, California. Okay, I've been there. The CELI Foundation in Los Angeles, California, I've been there. Okay, it's the largest Buddhist foundation in United States and Canada and Mexico, in North America in short. I've been there, CELI, in Hacienda, California. Then several universities back home in Taiwan he built. Japan, name them, Canada, Australia, it's everywhere. Okay, Master Singyung's done fantastically well. Okay, now I'm just going to continue to read. I just didn't want you to know whether, did I find the treasures when I went to the moon or to Pluto or to Mars? No, this is trying to give you the source, okay, of the work that I discovered. Okay. So since humans are essentially social beings and are incapable of living apart from their fellow human beings, the subject of interpersonal relationships, okay, I wanted you to highlight it. Master Singyung is going to direct us now on interpersonal relationships. If you're a brilliant person and you've come seriously to this class to get something, this is your opportunity. And you are serious, highlight interpersonal relationship and listen very carefully. Interpersonal relationships, okay? The subject of interpersonal relationship is an important field of study. We know that. Master Singyung is now going to direct us and give us light on interpersonal relationships so that we know how to treat other human beings. We need to treat human beings right in order for us to achieve our objectives in life. If you go into the world and you mistreat people, you will never get anything you want to get in life. Common sense tells us this. We may not still be very clear. We need to treat human beings properly if we want to get anything in this world. Is that not true? Absolutely. Okay, listen. In getting along with other people, we must first recognize the value of importance of human relationship. Importance of human relationships. Moreover, in developing meaningful friendships, we must learn to appreciate the virtues of others while tolerating their weaknesses. We should not flaunt our own strength at the expense of others' weakness. Are you writing? I hope you are, if you are serious. Instead, it is imperative for us to respect others and help them in their achievements. There are 4 points to consider for a successful relationship. 1. Okay, I call this the golden keys. Master Singyung is very direct. He's giving you the ideas. He's instructing you, advising you. If you are serious about your life, if you are serious about success, then here is what you need to do. Just as when we were kids, we used to listen to our dad when we go to school, right? The same way, Master Singyung is like a dad to us, spiritual in this case. If you listen to these instructions, you will achieve what you want to achieve in life. If you don't listen to these instructions, then you can go ahead and do whatever you please, right? Right. Okay, and experiment. And when you find what you find, it's nice with you, right? We need to listen to advice. A serious person listens to advice. Okay? If you listen to advice, you will succeed. So if you are serious, then you listen to advice. 1. Earn the respect of the virtuous with morals. Earn the respect of the virtuous with morals. We should never try to bribe or please those who are capable and wise with fame, fortune, or power. Instead, we should use our moral character and conduct to get along with them. Sun Tzu, okay, advocated. Sun Tzu advocated, the benevolent are easy to befriend, but hard to take liberties with. Although the capable and the virtuous are easy to befriend, it is difficult for them to respect us if we have nothing to offer except frivolous and meaningless flattery. Therefore, it is important for us to earn the respect and admiration of those who are able and worthy by means of our moral character. 2. Win over the stubborn and the unwilling with skillful means. How should we get along with those who are naturally unruly, defiant, or insolent? It is through skillful means. To train a difficult horse, a trainer must first know its temperament well before they can proceed further. Sometimes a free rein is necessary, while at other times it is important to pull in the reins to guide the horse. Similarly, we cannot be rigid in our ways by constantly blaming and yelling at people who refuse to correct their mistakes. Instead, we should first try to win their respect and listen to their sentiments before giving proper advice. If we want to convince them, we must first deal with their problems and fulfill their needs. Hence, the best way for us to win over those who are stubborn in doing the wrong thing is to win them over tactfully, with skillful means. 3. Hope you're writing, guys. Encourage the seemingly simple and naive. Encourage the seemingly simple and naive with diligence. When we are faced with people who are slower, simpler, or more naive than us, how should we react? We should value one's strength and tolerate one's weakness, said the history of the three kingdoms in explaining the importance of taking into account a person's abilities when making the best use of human resources. In other words, we must tolerate shortcomings of others in addition to taking full advantage of their strong points. For the less capable, we should assign tasks that are easier to accomplish, while also imparting methods to accomplish such tasks so that they will have the confidence to tackle them on their own later on. Only with diligence can we encourage a strong sense of independence in those who are perceived to be simple and naive. Finally, 4, okay? Just keep writing, guys. Keep busying yourselves. Teach obstinate and difficult people through strategy. strategy. Highlight that word, strategy. You should have a plan in all things you do. Since we cannot simply ignore or avoid people who are stubborn, defiant, or mean, we must find a way for them to accept us. For example, we can love and care for them in order to soften their stance and lessen their hostility. We can also encourage and praise them so they can develop a sense of self-confidence. When appropriate, we can even compel them to follow and listen to us by the power of authority. Hence, it is imperative for us to employ the right strategy in dealing with those who are stubborn and unruly. Now, in a nutshell, we have to summarize. The Buddha always summarized, okay? All of Buddhism, all of the teachings of Gautama Siddhartha, the Buddha, he did summarize. And fortunately for me, I have translated that summary. It became the very first Buddhist literature that was translated into African language. I did translate the Dhammapada into Esan language over a decade ago in Boston, Massachusetts. I did that great translating Dhammapada into Esan language. And English also, I did a translation. If you go to Google and just Google it, translations of Dhammapada by Christopher Aburime or Seldin Aburime, Dhammapada in English, Chinese, English, and Esan, 3 languages, Chinese, English, and Esan. It will show you the work I did over a decade ago. But the point is that the Dhammapada is the summary of the whole of Buddhism. The Buddha did summarize his teachings in a 423 literary piece of anthology called the Dhammapada. Okay, so Master Singyung, of course, in this lesson that I just unveiled to you, disseminated to you, he always summarizes. He did summarize this in the following paragraph. Okay, in a nutshell, and I read. Listen carefully and try to take notes. Successful interpersonal relationships. Successful interpersonal relationships require us to better observe, follow, and treasure the causes and conditions that are present. In order to avoid conflict, we especially need to give each other more space. If we can eliminate confrontations and reduce frictions in our relationships, we can easily maintain a more open communication and complement one another well in what we do. Therefore, we should be aware of the guidelines above. Now it's for you to go to your study. Okay? This is not a meditation session. So the Buddha tells everybody we must practice meditation. Okay? If you're an intelligent person, always sit and reflect upon wisdom. That's intelligence. Sit and delve further into wisdom, okay? And try to apply wisdom to your life. Live your life wisely. Use your time wisely. That's intelligent. So I'm expecting that my students are going to go from this point, having picked the points in my class, they're going to go now to their study, to their private libraries, their private temples, where you have your daily peace and you're quiet and reflect and meditate upon the wisdom you've drawn from this class. Namo Amitofo.